So that's what we're going to be doing today. The first stream of Spooky Month. Doing a double feature stream. Yeah. Sorry, man. You could get rid of the ads if you subscribe. But yes, double feature Sunday today. Bahnsen Knights first, something else later. It'll be a surprise. I mean, it's nothing nothing crazy. Just something that I've had in my library for a while, but haven't played yet. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it then. I'm gonna unfortunately have to be looking over here, away from, because I can't get the game to go into the other monitor. I'm not gonna switch the monitors around. That's crazy. Anyways, let's get on with the game, guys. This is Bahnsen Knights by Pixel Pulps. No, wait. This is Bahnsen Knights. That's all I can say. Nothing in the gallery. Return. Settings. Make sure... everything is, good audio here. Yeah, I'll pump up the game audio gain just a bit. There we go. How about that? Welcome back, sir. Alright, let's get on with the game, shall we? New game. Remember to save the game from time to time. So, from my understanding, this is like a... oh god, the sound. Not necessarily a point-and-click adventure, but kind of like a visual novel from what I remember. I don't know what the gameplay is like other than that. There's something heavy in the air. Some kind of tension. It's not just silence that follows his pauses. It's expectation. Oh god. Got a cult, maybe? Boulder. The son of a bitch knows how to talk. Dozens of people listen to Tony's sermon with tears in their eyes. After each pause, they wait. Suspense making their pulses race, and Tony knows it. Duh, big face. You notice the way he waits before starting certain lines. How he builds up the crowd's energy and makes the most of every silence. Although you've heard his speeches before, you can't help but notice that there's a certain magnetism in his words. You remember that before the storms, Tony had been a used car salesman, so he knows how to talk to people.
My name is Tony. Did you know that the idea that hell is below us was etched into the Western subconscious by a 14th century poem? Tony claims that more than 500 years ago, the devil sat behind Dante Alighieri and dictated the verses of the Divine Comedy to him. You look around. You can feel the contained energy, and you know it won't be much longer. Where do you think the tornadoes that plague our country come from? Don't be fooled.
You close your eyes and you feel hairs on your arms stand on end. So I tweeted out, Cadsy, that I've got, of the 4 games that I've already got planned for this month. And it's only, I mean, that's, of the 3 of those, I mean, of the 4 of those, 3 of them are like less than 10 hours long. This one is pretty short from my understanding. So there's probably going to have time for other games, other than the 4 that I announced.
Hell isn't below us. No. Not beneath our feet.
You crazy son of a bitch.
Hell is above us all.
Yeah, the 4 games I've got planned is Bahnsen Knights, this one here, Crow Country, Cease to Breathe, and then in a couple days, the Silent Hill 2 remake comes out. So those are the 4 games that I've got planned for this month. Plenty of other time in between there. People recognize the end of the sermon, and you feel like something finally breaks.
A huge amount of energy gets released. And the clamor is deafening. You wonder if this same crowd could be heard over the passing of an F5 tornado. Trying not to draw too much attention, you walk away from the scene by strolling to the other side of the barn. Take a sick smoke. You light a cigarette and take a few drags. You can still hear them cheering. You grab your head. What were you thinking? You didn't infiltrate the Bahnsen Knights to analyze their leader's sermons. You need to know what happened to Cupra. You think of your partner, of the work at the agency, all the beers you shared. Cupra is the godfather of your 3-year-old daughter. The day she was born, he promised that whatever happened to you, he would be there for her. You feel an emptiness in your stomach and try to think of something else. I still can't understand why you smoked that brand, Boulder. Tony! You're startled back into the present. You didn't hear him coming. I needed some air. Some smoky air. Here. Grab the keys. Tony shakes the keychain close to your face. You don't really seem to have a choice and grab the keys. Is there something wrong with my Sierra? No, it's not that. Today's sermon was intense. I need you to drive me to my Sierra. I need you to drive me in my Sierra. You know words. Shit, excuse me. What about mine? Should I leave it here? Yeah, don't worry. Tomorrow a new driver joins the group. And we're going to use the barn for the baptism. A new baptism? This soon? You stare at Tony, looking for a sign. Nothing. It's not the first time Tony's had someone drive him in his car. But it's the first time he's asked you. Let's hurry before everyone heads out. You walk to Tony's Ford Sierra and get into the driver's seat. Not sponsored by Ford. I'll sit in the back. Need to stretch my legs a bit. You turn the keys and hear the engine roar. Step on it, Boulder. Don't be shy. Driving a car, we go. Here we go. Driving a car. Why did he ask you to drive him? Why not ask one of the others? Ooh, excuse me. And yet again, no matter what happens, no matter what I've had to eat or drink. Oh shoot! I just realized the screen is way too zoomed in on the capture. Give me a sec. Let's fix this. Y'all bear with me. I apologize. There we go. Perfect. Now you can see everything. And the chat's not messing up any of the screen. Wait, go back. I can't go back. Shit. And what was that about a new baptism? Based on what you've heard, neither candidates are ready yet. Like, this, like, super minimalistic, like, old school looking, like, imagery here. I love this. I love this visual style. Even though you try to focus on the route, you can't help but think that something is wrong. A doubt forms like a cloud in your mind. What does Tony know? Talk to Tony, or... I'm gonna talk to him, because that's less suspicious. Tony. We don't have time to chat, Boulder. What does he mean? Hands sweat on the steering wheel. You try to calm down and think. Tony's voice came from behind the passenger seat. I'll look at him. Tony must be lying down because you can't see him in the rearview mirror. I'll just keep driving. Even though you want to see what Tony is doing back there, you decide not to make any more suspicious moves. This was exactly what I thought. Well, let's just turn the radio on, I suppose. You don't know what Tony is doing back there, and he doesn't want to talk either. Music might help. Help you think more clearly. You turn on the radio. Static. Let's turn to the right. Someone talking about politics. Not what you're looking for. You don't want to hear the sports results either, and you keep looking. Oh. More static. Feel some movement at the back. Leave it there. Listen. You recognize the song and a chill runs down your spine. It's an old blues song about betrayal. Oh shit. You focus on the song's lyrics, and everything falls into place. Tony knows. He knows you infiltrated the Bahnsen Knights. He knows you're investigating what happened to Copra. The son of a bitch just knows. So what do we do now? Would he wait until we got out of the car and shoot you in the back of the head? You grip the wheel tight with both hands. Tony would never kill anyone inside of one of his Sierras. You think of your daughter, of Cupra. Of the promise he made you that no one would ever fulfill. Boulder. Boulder! The truck! Oh god. Everything happened too fast. And although Tony wasn't killed instantly, neither of you survived the frontal collision with the truck. Oh shit, what? Okay, so death, alright. Some movement in the back. Leave it there, listen. Old blues song. I'm gonna change the station this time. Boulder, what are you doing? Sorry, but you know the rules of the Bahnsen Knights better than anyone. The driver chooses the music. Tony laughs, and something about it calms you down. Static. One of your favorite songs comes on, and you let go of the dial. You don't know if it's because how Tony laughed when you mentioned one of the Bahnsen Knight rules, or because you're listening to the first song you've danced to with Ava. Whatever the reason, you start to calm down. Before you know it, you're singing a song under your breath. Come on, Boulder. Louder. Pumped by Tony's words, you start singing out loud. When you finish, Tony starts clapping. Listen. Tomorrow's an important day for all of us. I moved the baptism of the new driver forward because there's someone who's not going to be sticking around. The others were going to take care of him before going to the bar. Who was Tony talking about? Me? And what had this nameless driver done? Would they do to him the same as they did to Cupra? Again, this feeling of emptiness in your stomach. But let's focus on the positive. Tomorrow, you'll have your first route. Tomorrow you'll have your first route exorcism. Happy, Boulder? You try to smile, to hide the shaking in your left hand. The rest of the trip you do in silence. You know that you'll have to be more careful than ever if you don't want to be discovered. Danny, instead of Denny's. You park near the entrance of the bar, get out, and open Tony's door. Tony slaps you on the shoulder and smiles. You enter the bar. Dude, I love these graphics. Tony nods towards the counter and winks at you. He then vanishes through the door in the back. And Danny's, the beer is free for the Bahnsen Knights. Old Danny has been one of the group's first drivers. There's Danny. After his tragic death, oh no, he's dead. His son Kevin had taken over the bar. Kevin despised Tony and his followers, but even with their differences, he upheld the agreements with the Bahnsen Knights. Does Tony know that Kevin spit in every glass of beer before putting it on the counter? No, but we know that now. You hear someone swearing to your left and see a group of men walking away from the Glenlivet dartboard. The dartboard was Kevin's idea. Each customer is allowed to throw 1 dart a night, but not the Bahnsen Knights. Tony had taken care of that. The Bahnsen Knights can throw as many darts as they want, and try to make a Glen's Eye. A Glen's Eye is the highest score. Let's throw some darts. The center of the dartboard. Whoever gets a Glen's Eye wins a single shot of malt whiskey. A Glenlivet. Or Glenlivet. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And it's customary for the winner to pour the shot of Glenlivet into their eye. Oh, God! Ah, shit. 30. Cooper used to say that to get a Glen's Eye, you don't need to think. That when you think, your mind tricks you into seeing things more simply than they are. You don't have to worry about aiming and visualizing and imagining an imaginary crosshair. All of those are just mind games, crutches of the imagination. What you need to do is wait for it and listen to your body. The body knows, Boulder. Okay? Oops. 40. Throw another dart. $30. I'm trying to do what it says. I don't think it's working. Closer. We can throw as many darts as we like, right? A little bit better. Almost. Almost. Ah, shit. Maybe I'll just order a beer in a second. One more. Let's give it one more shot. Oh, no. Let's give it one more shot after that. No, one more shot after that. No, one more shot after that. No, one more. Come on. I can do better than that. Okay, fuck it. You try to clear your mind. Listen to your body. Nothing. Let's order a gosh damn beer instead. You know he's not going to spit in your glass. Kevin was Cupper's friend. Something tells you that Kevin knows you're nothing like the rest of the Bahnsen Knights. You finish your beer and stretch your back. You look over at the door in the back. Speaking of back, let me fix my chair, so my back's not fucked up. There's something Tony said that you can't get out of your head. Starting tomorrow, they'll let you join in the Holy Cross. You and your Ford Sierra will participate in the route exorcisms that last. Whatever that is. Episode 2 already. You place your hand on your chest. and suppress the burp before it reaches your mouth. You adjust your seat. And there's a car. And muster the strength to embark on another day. It's been over a month since your first exorcism. Oh shit, really? You don't know how much more you can take. You still haven't discovered what happened to Cupra. Nor have you found the evidence necessary to incriminate Tony. You lower the sun visor on the passenger side. Let's view the drawing. Oh, look at that. Look at that nice MS Paint drawing. Anguish constricts your chest. Neither heartburn nor the burning sensation in your esophagus troubles you anymore. You experience a shapeless pain. A pain that doesn't cling to your body, but rather to the absence of anything. Ollie. You focus on the drawing. On those marks that still feel close to you. Yet are part of a different life. You recall Ava's laughter upon seeing how Olivia depicted you. Ava pointed to your belly, and you feigned offense. You would scold her for mocking your child's artistic abilities. Ava would ask you to put Olivia to sleep, giving you a playful wink. And when you would lull her to sleep, watching her fight the pull of slumber. Aware that Ava awaited you in the other room for hotness. For adult times. I guess. View holy cards. Dude, we got trading cards. You gaze at the holy cards. Sometimes you wonder if the agency complicates matters unnecessarily. Each saint represents a specific area of investigation. And the holy cards serve as a means to communicate with your handler discreetly. Interesting. You shut your eyes and you believe you catch a glimpse of them. You start the car. Knowing that the road numbs your consciousness. Cupra once told you that he used to fall asleep listening to a tape of white noise on his Walkman. It helped because white noise encompasses all the frequencies audible to humans. The perfect place for those voices that kept him awake to get lost in the crowd. Have you read Poe? Old Edgar? Cupra held Edgar Allan Poe in high regard, and it felt like a personal affront every time you told him that you hadn't read him yet. You glanced at the passenger seat. Would it be enough this time? The idea of using holy cards in the investigation couldn't be more apt. Dude, I love these graphics. Look at this shit. After all, you perceive every communication with your handler as a prayer. You walk with great strides. You remember Ava. How she mimicked the rhythm of your walk and laughed while doing so. There they are. They're dead. Ava, 1954 to 1981. Yeah, this takes place in the 80s, I think. 1978 to 1981. She was 3 years old. It was your handler's idea. When you heard it, it seemed like a bad joke. You couldn't believe what she was proposing. Erecting the fake... Oh, never mind. Maybe they're not. Erecting the fake graves of your wife and daughter in a local cemetery. Your handler said it was perfect as a cover. Your wife and daughter would have been killed in a road accident. Which would explain your disregard for life and self-destructive impulses behind the wheel. Oh, excuse me. Two desirable traits among the Bahnsen Knights. However, the true brilliance of the idea lay elsewhere. And that was to name them after your real wife and daughter. As an undercover agent, you would have no contact with them, and you could harness those genuine feelings of loss to make your cover more convincing. You gaze at your daughter's grave. 1978 to 1981. Even though you know no one is buried there, the date evokes a profound sadness, and you avert your eyes. You're aware your handler chose your daughter's grave for the exchange, because that's the reaction is common to most people. It's difficult to confront the death of a child. Remember what each holy card represents. Examine available evidence. Oh god. Father Mario, Saint Cajetan, Mary Undoer of Knots. So, Father Mario was a healing priest from La Matanza, Argentina. There's a famous phrase of his, I am the guitar, God is the guitar player. I get it. The agency uses Father Mario's holy card to catalog the actions of Tony's acquaintances, and thus build a case against the entire hierarchy of the Bahnsen Knights. Okay. Actually, I think I'm going to have to write some of this down. I feel like it might be important. It just might be important. Alright, so Father Mario is talking about Tony's acquaintances, right? Let's do it just again. Famous Ryan guitar. Catalog the actions of Tony's acquaintances. Okay. And thus build a case against the entire hierarchy. Build case against, I'm writing this down, y'all. Entire hierarchy. Because I feel like it's going to come into play, right? Obviously. Saint Cajetan. Saint Cajetan of Thien, patron saint of administrative officers. What a weird patron saint. The agency uses his holy card to catalog accounting documentation. Okay, accounting documentation. Easy enough. Mary, undoer of knots. Mary. I'll just put Mary. Mary, undoer of knots, is an allegorical representation of human difficulties. Oh, okay. Allegory of human difficulties. The knots symbolize those problems that the Virgin helps to unravel. Knot symbolizes challenges. Not symbolize challenges. The agency uses her holy card to catalog documentation that seems to have been forged. Catalogs forged docs or obtained illegally or obtained illegally. Alright, back. Examine available evidence. Alright. Copy of a receipt, permission to drive after curfew. Okay, copy of receipt. The receipt is for 20 cans of red paint. You know that Tony paints huge crosses on his barns. And although the receipt is not evidence in itself to convict him, it could prove valuable for forensic accountants. Permission to drive after curfew. After the storm season and some security issues that followed the humanitarian crises, the government issued a curfew prohibiting movement except for those with a special permit. How had Tony managed to get a permit issued in his name? It could be forged, could be fake, I suppose. Select the holy card. Assign evidence, select, right? Assign evidence. Permission to... You assign the evidence to the holy card, okay. a receipt was accounting documentation. Yeah, Saint Catehan, copy of receipt. You assigned the evidence to the holy card. That assigned first evidence correctly. Oh, okay. I got an achievement. You can't see it, but that's what it said. So I guess I did that correctly. You leave the holy cards on the grave, and you retreat the way you came. Would the evidence stack up this time? Could you build a case with this new information? How much longer will you endure the Bahnsen Knights? However desperate you are to find out what happened to Cupra, you long to go home. You want to embrace them, kiss them. You miss them so much. You yearn for Olivia to draw you, like one of your French girls. For Ava to laugh at you, to put Olivia to sleep, knowing that Ava is waiting for you in the other room. I don't like this screen. The Sierra gets in front of you. You manage to break at the last second. That was spooky. Fuck you! Vincent smiles, and you barely stop yourself from stepping out of the car to punch the grin off his face. You think of Cupra, and one of the exercises he taught you to survive as an undercover agent. It's a mnemonic trick. You have to imagine a sort of continuum for each person you interact with. Some sort of bar divided into 7 equal parts. You know, like a video game mechanic. Follow me. Follow me, Boulder! You look at Vincent, and you can imagine that bar. The beginning of the bar represents full confidence. The end, total suspicion. That point where they are... The end, total suspicion. That point where they are going to accuse you and discover your true identity. You apply Cupra's tricks to all of the Bahnsen Knights, apart from Tony. With Tony, you never know where you stand, bar or no bar. You hear Vincent rev the car's engine. He wants to see us! You grit your teeth hard, and you take comfort in thinking that if the evidence is good enough this time, it won't be long before you'll be back with your family. Is that the end of the chapter? How many chapters are there? Damn. Episode 3. Alright, I'm going to make a small cup of coffee, guys. Because I need some. And let's get back to it. Vincent steps on the gas. And you can't afford to fall behind. The old roadblocks are long gone. Ever since the storm started, everyone, police, firefighters, and even FEMA for a while, has been dedicated to the reconstruction effort. Or at least that's what they're trying to do. Resources are scarce, and politics is never up to the task. In a context like this, with official actors attempting to manage the chaos, paragovernmental organizations emerge. Cupra's mission was to infiltrate and investigate Tony and his Bahnsen Knights, a group that caught the agency's attention due to their growth in the wake of these first tornadoes. So it's like a post-apocalyptic scenario, sort of, caused by tornadoes. Hell on high. Tony's messianic delusion. The agency isn't concerned with the religious ideas of the Bahnsen Knights. The agency is interested in the power they've acquired. Economic power. As well as territorial. Excuse me. The road leading to the barn is gravel. And despite bumping your head against the car's roof multiple times, you refuse to let Vincent gain too much distance. Oh shit. You hit Luca and he falls backwards. Well, damn. I didn't realize I was timed. He rushes you, brandishing a knife. Well, shit. Despite the others trying to stop him, the blade hits its mark. He stabs you in the stomach. The wound is deep. You suffer before the darkness takes you. Retry. You refuse to let Vincent gain too much distance. Brake. Luca! You hit the brakes just in time. Avoid an accident. Well, I didn't realize we were going to have, You crazy motherfucker! Your heart is pounding. You know there's no room for even a moment's distraction when dealing with the Bahnsen Knights. You step out of the car and let them park it for you. You know they're going to tease you about this. But you also know you have a role to play. That dude's, made me more suspicious. It seems like yes and no. It's kind of like a... I guess kind of like a point-and-click adventure, sort of, maybe. Except maybe more of a... visual novel style. But it seems like there might be... Like, it might be predominantly linear, in my opinion. Just from what I've kind of absorbed. You're Boulder. A big guy. A big, calm guy. But with a self-destructive urge gnawing at your core. You are an iceberg from which 2 chunks have already been torn away. And the current carried them off, never to return. Well, okay, yeah, it looks like, I mean, I did have the choices at the grave to make. For one. Your handler had recommended you use the cover story to your advantage. Arguing that pity is one of the most powerful resources when it comes to diverting attention. Oh god, these guys are angry. You look at the Bahnsen Knights around you and you can't help but wonder. Compassion? Pity? Empathy? Will these 3 characters be able to feel something like that? Keith was the eldest among them all. And if half the stories about him were true, he would have a guaranteed place at Satan's side. Because he's bad. Luca, who you almost ran over a few minutes ago. You're pretty sure there must be a language somewhere in which Luca and Psychopath are etymologically linked words. And Vincent. These are 3 main dudes. A sadist who's never heard of the Marquis de Sade. Self-taught, a natural-born sadist. And therefore, much more dangerous. Sorry. I was distracted for a second. Don't worry, Boulder. At least you didn't kill me. Although Ava and Olivia's deaths were part of your act. A fiction. You can't help but feel a rage that threatens to consume you. You glance at Vincent, who shakes his head back and forth. You start to say something, and Keith clears his throat. Stop fucking around, you two. You know why we're here. Tony wants to exercise a new road. So I recommend you bury your demons deep, Boulder. And pay more attention next time. You look at Luca, and Luca smiles. What's up, Boulder? Do you fancy me? On the contrary. You want to cover his face with bruises. Bruises! Turn his expression into a... I can't speak, guys. Shit. Turn his expression into a Rorschach stain. And don't worry about what you may or may not see in it. Hey. Vincent points towards the door of the barn. And the 3 of them suddenly become serious. Speaking of Rome, is Tony. Tony and Monique, the librarian. Monique is Tony's trusted lieutenant. A woman of few words. And who you doubt knows how to smile.
Listen to me. By now I reckon we all know the signs.
Why are his knuckles covered in blood? He punched somebody.
A new tornado is approaching our roads. And we're not going to let it pass.
Tony goes over everyone's roles in the exorcism. We're exorcising tornadoes. That's, crazy. Unconsciously, you position yourself on the outskirts of the group. Do these guys really think they can influence the path of a tornado?
Boulder, listen to me. Today, you go first.
But Tony. Tony looks Luca in the eye, and Luca looks down.
Fine then.
You nod.
What are you waiting for?
You run to the Sierra. Before you get in, you steal a glance at the barn. What was Tony doing in there? And whose blood did he wipe off his knuckles? And the minimalistic like sound / music effects in this game, it's also those are also, I love it. Perfect uneasy feeling. You mark the position of the barn on your map. As soon as you had the chance, you'd go back to investigate. New exorcism on the road. And this was the first time you'd be out at the front. The most important position in the formation. For which you need total confidence of the rest of the drivers. You always found it hard to read Tony. Assign you to the top of the cross, or we'd act like a cross formation. Why give you that role? You gaze at the sun visor on the passenger seat. No. This isn't the time to seek solace in the drawings. Nor to think about how much more time until the extraction. You start the car and rev the engine. Hoping that the roaring noise will drown out even your own thoughts. Exercise Road. Oh shit, we got a mini fucking game? Oh shit. After the initial impact, a chain reaction crash unfolds. Your car somersaults into the air, and your hands instinctively cover your face. What the fuck? In your final reluctant moment, you hold on to your thoughts of Ava. Despite your resistance. Darkness finally envelops you. Oh god. Wait, no. Abandon a road exorcism? What? Wait, I didn't mean to do that. I got an achievement for abandoning. You can't, although you can't see them, you know the Bahnsen Knights won't like your decision. His like went up though. I didn't mean to skip that. I was gonna try again. Buttons. It's not the first time it's happened to you. As soon as you walk into Danny's bar, you feel like you're floating. Like you can see yourself from the outside. And you're someone else. Look who's here! The illusion soon shatters. You try to smile and return the greeting. You're Boulder, an undercover agent investigating a religious cult led by Tony. Looking for answers about the disappearance of Cupra, your dear friend and godfather to your daughter. You miss little Olivia so much. Your eyes itch. Scratch my eye. And it's not because of the smoke in the bar. Adjusting my seat. You take a breath. What are you going to do now? Go to the left of the bar, the right of the bar. Let's go to the right. Go to Tony's office, broke the jukebox, tables in the back. Approach the jukebox. Look at the pictures. Oh my god, there's a lot of stuff. Select left. Left. Look at the picture. Will it be enough just to want to believe? Huh? A former president of the country. You wonder how there are still people who believe in politicians. Danny posing with a younger man you don't recognize. You read the message on the picture. To a true fan. Scaloni. That's a name. The first of the pictures is a famous crooner. What was a crooner? What was his name? Tim Robinson. Next to it, a picture of an attractive woman. Could she be famous? The third picture is of Danny with a man you don't recognize either. And Danny's bar in the bottom picture. The date in the corner suggests that the photo was taken around the time of the inauguration. Excuse me. Elvis Presley. Is it true what you heard about the agency about his death? I don't know, is it? A group of friends. The photo is old. Why are you looking at the pictures on the wall of a shitty bar? Sometimes you think that everything you do is nothing more than a simple distraction. The way to delay the inevitable. Well, it's a video game. I'm doing all the things. Check the jukebox. Lady Love dies. Golden butterfly. Letici? What? Frank and Drake. Hungry ghosts. Them ghosts are hungry, all right. Hangout season Eremi. That's like a, what is that person? Let's listen to this one. Go to Tony's office. There are 2 goons checking that no one enters the office. Alright, well. Tables in the back. There's a man you've never seen before sitting at one of the tables. His face is covered and you wonder if he's hiding from someone. But isn't it true that we all hide from someone else? Let's talk to him. You start to say something and the man looks you in the eye. You decide not to bother him. You recognize the need to be alone when you see it. Who is he? Looks like me. Does anyone know? Let's go back. Let's approach just the center of the bar. You walk to the bar. Kevin continues to do his thing without looking up. Ask about the goons outside Tony's office. Kevin looks at you and seems to hesitate. Oh, my controller is not... Hang on, I gotta fix my controller wire. But in the end, he says nothing. You remember Cupper's technique. The imaginary bar. Maybe if you get Kevin to trust you completely and deplete that bar. Okay, so depleting the bar is what is trust. Ask if everyone is alright. Ever feel out of place, Boulder? Question takes you by surprise. You read all of Cupper's you read all of Cupper's reports, and you know that Kevin had become something like a friend to him. What exactly had it said? Kevin, current owner of Danny's Bar, is one of the most interesting characters I've met connected to the Bahnsen Knights. You'd like to tell him that you're friends with Cupper, and ask him if he knows what happened to him. But things aren't that simple. Sometimes there's just no choice. I was always good with numbers, you know. That's why Dad never let me go. The old man even asked me to do his taxes. Did you ever read Martin Gardner's columns in the Scientific American? You look at Kevin carefully. Although you don't know what exactly he's talking about. You now understand Cupper's interest. First one I ever read was recommended to me by a customer. I was 15, waiting tables. This one guy couldn't make up his mind on what to order. He'd ask for one thing, and instantly regret it, change to something else. I thought maybe he didn't have enough money. I ran him through the menu again, including combinations of stuff that I figured he might like, given what he'd already asked for. And in my head, I calculated the right price for all these made-up dishes. The guy just stared at me, and told me to bring him whatever I wanted. He left me one hell of a tip. And a copy of Scientific American. On the cover he wrote, "Read the Mathematical Games column, you'll enjoy it." You know how many times I thought about getting the hell out of this place? But I couldn't leave Dad on his own. Dad got me a subscription to Scientific American. And later he signed me up to do a correspondence writing course. Getting the mail every month is what kept me sane, Boulder. Order a beer. You drink the beer in silence. It's the first one of the night. Although your handler's strategy is smart, you know you can't drink too much. There's a point in which, no matter how well you can hold your booze, you're going to start talking. And on that borderline between what's fact and what's fiction, you run the risk of someone pulling the veil. And everything coming to an abrupt end. So don't get any more beers, or barely any more. Ask about the writing course. Kevin looks at you for a few seconds. Yeah, he seems to enjoy being listened to. The guy who taught the course signed his name with only 3 letters. LCB. Left crusty ball. I used to fantasize about what those letters stood for, as did I. Lewis Carroll Bateman. Lewis Bateman. Is that the guy from American Psycho? Lisa Coleman Burke. But I never found out. They send me these booklets with theories and exercises. Circle of Characters, LCB called his creations. They started to put what I'd learned into practice. I even sent some stories off to some address in one of the booklets, and took the chance to ask about the meaning of the signature. Never heard back. Ask about character circles? Kevin pauses before answering. Do you know how many non-collinear plots are needed to define a circle? Points. Ask what a non-collinear point is. Lines that don't intersect. I'll just shake my head. It takes 3 non-collinear points to define a circle. Kevin smiles. Imagine 3 points on a piece of paper. When you connect the dots, you make a triangle. And if you draw a circle that fits around this triangle, you'll see there's only one that does. You'll see there's only one that does it perfectly. Each of the 3 points you drew is a vertex of the triangle. The corners. And the center of the circle is a special point that's exactly the same distance from each of the corners. Imagine you put the point of the compass in that spot, and you make the pencil touch any point of the corners of the triangle. Then draw a circle with the compass. The circumference will touch all 3 points. LCB states that a character can be defined by just 3 stories. And rather than writing novels or short stories, he prefers character circles. But a circle is a different geometric figure. This dude's talking about the most boring subject I can think of is math. It eats its own tail. Ouroboros. According to LCB, the character circle is the most perfect narrative unit. And because of this basic perfection, the most tragic. Why the most tragic? Because the first thing you have to accept when you do something is that you remove the possibility of doing something else. A guy in a suit used to come to the bar. He didn't talk much. He'd read the newspapers. He'd read the newspaper and have nothing but coffee for breakfast. I never confirmed it, but from the first day he came, I figured he was FBI. One of the LCB exercises was about that. Observing someone and imagining 3 stories that defined them. Those stories outlined a character circle. Want to hear the FBI coffee guy's 3 stories? Sure. Maybe another night. I need to serve these beasts now. Heck! Alright. Left of the bar. Actually, let's go change the music again. Let's listen to Drake and Frank. Left of the bar. Close to the dartboard, sit with the Bahnsen Knights. go to the emergency exit. Let's sit with the guys that we don't like. Sit down, Boulder. There's a deck if you want to try. I have the record. You look at Luca. And Luca smiles and winks at you. How'd you like to wipe that smile off his face with a punch? Talk. Talk to Monique. Monique looks ahead. You wonder what she's thinking about. And for the moment, you can't think of anything to say to her. Oh, alright. Talk to Vincent. Ask him about the glasses. Seems you want to make a conversation, Boulder. I could tell you I wear them because smoke irritates my eyes. Or because drinking makes them red. It could be because I don't want anyone to see me as I am. And I hide behind them. Or I could tell you a story from when I was a kid. Why not? You could tell me any of those things. Two of my neighbors, a few years older than me. They invented this game, see? It involved grabbing my neck and lowering my head until it almost touched a freshly made dog turd. How nice. And seeing who could hold me the closest without my face touching it or me getting away. First I resisted. I tried with all my strength to get out of it. But then I got used to seeing pieces of shit right up close. You know how many times I had conjunctivitis and missed school? What do you say, Boulder? Could this have something to do with what happened to me when I was a kid? The truth is much simpler, you know. Glasses look fucking good on me. Well, damn, alright. Let's talk to... I already fucking talked to Vincent, excuse me. To Keith. That's the old guy. Talk about exorcism. You wait a second for the others to shut up. And you ask Keith if he believes in route exorcism. You of all people want to talk about the exorcism? You're such a pussy. Keith makes a sign to Luca and Luca shuts up. Keith looks at you for a while without answering. I owe Tony a lot. I was locked up for a long time, Boulder. Do you know how hard it is to ask yourself questions, knowing how much you hate not having the answers? When I was younger, I got a stupid idea in my head. Could I break someone's eardrum with a gas pump nozzle? Probably. Once a question settles in my head, Keith takes a deep breath. It's as if a stranger came into your house, sat down on your favorite couch, started watching TV, drinking your beer, and eating your snacks. The questions in my head are that son of a bitch, Boulder. And the only way I have to kick him out is to answer them. He scratches his face. It can be done, Boulder. Puncturing someone's eardrum with a gas pump's nozzle is a lot easier than you'd think. Well, alright. Let's talk to the other one. Luca. Talk about almost running him over? I don't understand how you killed your family. You have good reflexes. Without taking your eyes off him for a second, you think of all the options you'd have if you didn't care about the mission. Punch him in the face until he's unconscious. Smash a beer glass against the gleaming surface of his skull. Flip the table in the air and elbow him in the neck, amid the confusion. So, Boulder, what you gonna do? You think it over and decide you're not going to talk to Luca about the exorcism. Luca seems to have it in for you. And after the way you abandoned the front position on the cross, you don't want to give him any more reason to joke at your expense. Well, alright. Plays Crucius Solitaire. Solitaire? Ask how to play it. Rules are simple.
You'll turn over 1 card per turn. And that card is the Salvation. And it will have to beat the Doom card. If the Salvation seems low to you, you can add as many cards as you want from the cross. If the Salvation card is higher than the Doom card, you continue playing. If it's lower, you lose. And if it's of equal value, you'll have to break the tie by turning over 2 new cards. One of Salvation and another one of Doom. If you lose the tiebreaker, which we'll call the Leap of Faith, you'll be able to look for a miracle. The miracle can only be achieved if you match the value of Doom by adding... What the fuck? The miracle... This is more complex than I was expecting. The miracle can only be achieved if you match the value of Doom by adding cards from the cross to the Leap of Faith. For each Leap of Faith you win, you will get a new cross. You can use the new cross at the beginning of each turn and deal cards until you fill it again. What the fuck? Simple. No, it's not. Queen, huh? The miracle's the ace, right? Well, the ace is higher than the queen, right? There's no miracle. You lose. You score 0. Wait. Add cards from the cross. Oh, it's an automatic win? 6. Ace. Huh? Oh, is it 10? You need to tie the Doom card to obtain a miracle. Oh, shit. So I need 8. So I need to add cards. Add the miracle. Okay. Confirm. A tie. Leap of Faith. Okay, I won. Fill the cross. Turn over Doom. Look for a miracle. So I need a 6. 5. There's no miracle. You lose. I didn't mean to do that. Exit. Sweet. I guess. Go to the dartboard. Play darts. Try it again. Let's get a little bit closer in my chair. Aim dart. Throw dart. Throw another dart. Aim dart. Throw dart. Ah. Oh, that was so close. Ah, look, dude, I was a...
Try to clear your mind, listen to your body, nothing. What if I just, like, hammer on the button? Also need to turn my AC down. It's getting toasty in here. I guess it's because of this light. Ah, shit. I can't get these darts. Go to the emergency exit? Hang on. Turn my AC down. It's right here. I guess the light's kind of warm, huh? Go outside. You take a deep breath. How much longer are you going to resist? Resist what? R? Maybe another night. Need to... Another beer? Second. Yeah, I need to deplete his bar. Tony's office. Tables in the back. Can't talk to him. Actually, can I talk to him with 2 beers? Who is he? Another beer? 4 beers? Alright, well, I got 4 beers in me. I'm a little drunk, as I can see. Don't want to talk to any of these guys. Monique. Any of those other guys want to say anything to me? Nope. Solitaire again? Shit, I don't know what I was supposed to do. Let's see. I know how to play. Doom card. Look for a miracle. Does this count as 1? Yes, it does. And for a miracle, a tie. I lose. Score 0. And my score's 11. Oh, that's all? Ah. Let's throw some darts at this board here. Ah. Throw another dart, aim another dart, throw a dart. Oh my god, that was so close. Oh my god, that looks like it was right there! Come on. I got plenty of darts. Plenty of time, plenty of darts. Oh my god, it was like... Come on. What do I do? Take a deep breath. What am I resisting? I don't get it. Leaving already, Boulder? Why don't you come here and chat? Make a hand exorcisms on the road. Messianic delusions, sadists at the wheel, and the constant threat of being killed. How much more of all this could you take? Okay, into the chapter, I guess? Okay, so I guess I just don't have anything to do. Your waist hurts. Feel burning in your esophagus, and the onset of a cramp in your left leg. Try to remember the happier times. Times when you awoke differently. Ava used to rise before you. The first thing that would greet you was the aroma of coffee wafting from the kitchen. After a while, she'd enter the room with 2 steaming cups. She'd set them on the bedside table and place a kiss on your lips, and yum yum. The coffee would stop steaming and cool in the cups, but neither of you would particularly mind. Years later, Olivia would arrive, and the morning would be different. Not better, nor worse, just different. Suddenly, breathing becomes a struggle. A profound sense of loss engulfs you. It's as if Ava and Olivia were no longer there. As if the accident had really happened, and you could never see them again. You shake your head. How much did you drink last night? 4 beers? That's all. Whoever left you the note had done a good job. The fact they did it without you noticing bothers you. You step out of the car and the morning's chill takes you by surprise. Mile 54. Do you think about the graphology classes at the agency? The meaning entwined with each stroke. Yet beyond any theoretical discourse, you recognize the sender of the message. Could it be actual evidence? You look around you. The cars of the Bahnsen Knights rest like cattle in the field, before their circadian rhythms kicks in. We all have Sierras. Look at Vincent's Sierra. Vincent sleeps. We sleep in cars. That's better. You still remember the story he told you when you asked him about the glasses. Is it true? Or is it part of a story that you fit into the world of the Bahnsen Knights? Is there even a world out there? Instinctively, you look at the sun visor and sigh. Of all the Bahnsen Knights, Monique is the one with whom you find it hardest to strike up a conversation. You're not surprised. You were never good at talking to women. You think of Ava. If it wasn't for her, you two probably would have never had the first date. You can't stand Luca. His attitudes, the way he talks to people, that giggling. You remember your high school years, where unfortunately you crossed paths with several people like him. You don't want to wake anyone up. Last thing you need is for any of these sociopaths to tell you. You only start the engine when you figure you're good and far down the road. Mile 54. What's Tony after at mile 54? Your stomach grumbles, and a gloomy thought crosses your mind. What if this was your last shot at breakfast? That would be terrible, huh? You try to think of the Bahnsen Knights' territory, of the number of barns with the giant red cross slapped on the wall. What would all this look like from above? Cupra was always on about the gap between a map and its territory. And he'd shake his head when you said you still hadn't picked up Borges, despite his prodding. You order a black coffee, eggs, and bacon. Is this your last breakfast? If this is your last breakfast, you won't be missing out on anything. Oh shit. All of a sudden, appetite's gone. You drop your fork on your plate and wonder if maybe it had been better never have tasted happiness in life. You feel the dampness in your eyes and the quiver in your hands. Happiness, it's the worst drug. Withdrawal hits harder than a freight train. You just want to head back home. You wish all this to be over. How much longer are you gonna hold out? Cupper had it figured. More than a few times he'd yammered about time being the biggest foe for an undercover agent. What was that line he just couldn't quit repeating? Reality's just an illusion we've gotten used to. What the? More cards. Oh shit. The evidence you left on your daughter's grave is no longer there. What the 3 holy cards are: Father Mario, a holy card used by the agency to catalog actions of Tony's Circle; Saint Katehan, used to catalog accounting documentation of the Bahnsen Knights; Mary, undoer of knots, material that had been forged. Along with these holy cards, you find 2 new ones: Our Lady of Health. Time to get some. Gotta write this down, guys. Our Lady of Health. And Saint Expeditus. Saint Expeditus. Fucking hell. You bend down and pick them up, and you feel a great sense of helplessness. What on earth is your handler looking for? More evidence that Tony's a son of a bitch? Isn't it enough to know that Cupra's gone? And Cupra? Did he find anything? I'm pretty sure that's probably not the way you pronounce that name. Or had he simply been discovered? Your head's spinning, and you try to concentrate. Almost as if nature was giving you a sign. You spot the shadows slipping under the light of the midday sun. It's time. Oh, I'm not going to get to do the things yet. The road meanders gently, and you think of Ava. How she'd sway to her jam, all graceful and free. It's a stone's throws away now, as you ease off the gas. And there it is, finally.
Thought you weren't showing up.
You smile. You never considered that option. Here we are. At mile 54.
And it ain't just us who've crossed paths at this point, huh? You familiar with the backstory of the Bahnsen Knights?
You'd like to tell him yes. To spill that you're an undercover agent. And there's a fat file about it back at the agency. You'd buy a ticket to see the look on his face. Ask him about your partner. But you just shake your head.
Hold on a second. I guarantee it's gonna be worth your while. back in '83, there was this curious happening. 2 F5 tornadoes nailed the heart of the county at the same time. Remember what they blabbered about their paths on the TV? It's tough for you to admit, but it only took him 3 sentences to hook you.
You remained silent and let him continue telling his story.
I was working as a used car salesman back then. My town took the biggest punch. One tornado slashed it south to north. Later, another one swept in southeast to southwest to northeast. This way. Like a cross. Got saved by a fluke.
Tony takes a pause.
Town was pretty much wiped out. My boss was a son of a bitch. Mark Fisher.
Mark Fisher? You scoured your memory for that name popping up in the agency dossier.
And I ain't just tossing that out. You know what Monique says about adjectives, right?
You don't. But you're glad to have a new topic of conversation with the librarian.
Anyway, Mark owed me commission for my last sales. He knew I needed that cash, but I didn't give a damn. Once the sirens quit wailing, I hoofed it to the office. Sifted through debris, clinging to the hope of scooping up anything. But I found nothing. Cash box was busted open. Never found out who swiped the money. It wasn't Mark, he died in the storms. Ugh. Something snapped in me. I started tearing everything apart. Like a third tornado ripping through the damn offices. Must have caught the glint of metal. Behind a picture frame was a key. And a legend. Mile 54. I figured Mark had other stuff going on. So without thinking too much, I left the office. And I started looking for Mile 54. You got any clue how many Mile 54 markers litter this county?
You shake your head, and Tony grins.
Started off with the closest one. Then I didn't find anything. Kept at it. And after a while, landed in this spot. The barn was padlocked. But I got the key. Couldn't believe my eyes. Felt like I'd stepped into heaven's gate. Sierras stretching as far as you could see. My boss had them imported from Europe. And for some reason, he couldn't sell them just yet. Know what a cross is, Boulder? A cross is an intersection.
No shit.
A meeting point. 2 tornadoes. A guy and a batch of imported cars.
Tony takes a pause. His stare intense. It's hard for you to bear it.
But also 2 friends. Or a pair of foes. Each of us carries more than one cross. The key's knowing which one to flaunt to others.
Silence gets heavy. You don't dare break it.
Shall we go back, Boulder?
You nod. And Tony's words rattle in your head. End of chapter. Episode 6. You feel the heat under the weight of your body, and it brings to mind those cats lounging on parked car hoods. You used to think that they did it to ward off the chill. But Cupra had told you that the real reason was different. Cats perch on car hoods to protect themselves.
from stray dogs. What are you thinking about? About what we're doing here? What's the plan? Vincent eyes you like you're some kind of puzzle. Sometimes I'm scratching my head, wondering if you're just a bit slow. Or if you're trying to bait me into saying something that'll screw me over. You lock onto his stare, like they taught you at the agency. 1, 2, 3. You keep quiet. And you're starting to wonder if it was the right move. Vincent appears suspicious. And he walks in your direction with a determined stride. Oh shit. Are you bugged, you son of a bitch? You try to explain to him you're not wearing a wire, but it's too late. He kills you. Vincent pulls out a knife and you try to stop him. You struggle for a few seconds. And you end up with another knife in your sternum. And you collapse by the Sierra, coughing blood onto the asphalt. Truck approaches in the distance. Vincent drags your body to the center of the road. Oops! I guess I'm supposed to smile at him? Broad grin spreads across your face. You want to frisk me, Vinny? That's it, isn't it? Vincent lets out a laugh. Improvise, Boulder. Planning is for nerds. You hear how he clears his throat. And spits onto the asphalt. Do you know that saliva can stimulate soft tissue repair? And that it can accelerate healing? Vincent looks at his arm for a few seconds. It's the little I remember from school. I dropped out at 15. I'd locked myself in my room and cut myself. Oh, God. Trigger warning, guys. Self-harm. Near my elbow. Then I'd spit on the wound and stare at it for hours. I didn't realize that was going to be in here. This is a pretty mature game. I showed my brother what I was doing once. And the prick told our stepfather. I can still feel the pounding I took. The things he hurled at me. Years later, I tracked him down and took a butcher knife to him. As he bled out on the floor, I started spitting. I spit and spit, 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 spit. My spit was all over the place. Except for the hole I put in that piece of shit. Boulder! Cross the truck's path and make it stop. I'll handle the rest. You rush to the door and fire up the engine. Cross the truck's path and make... So that was the plan. You slammed on the gas pedal, trying not to get left behind. Hey! You look to the side. And you spot Vincent clutching something in his right hand. You have a bad feeling about this. The truck driver seems to suspect something. And he's driving at full speed. It's going to be hard for you to overtake him and cross your car in front of him and force him to stop, especially given the oncoming traffic. Get in front of the truck and slam on the brakes. Hey, I did it. Truck brakes too. Hijack a truck! Oh, God. You owe the agency a lot. Without that transfer, you'd never cross paths with Ava. I'm going to warm my coffee up real quick, folks. It's getting a little cold. Without that transfer, you'd never have crossed paths with Ava. Hold still while we unload, huh? And Olivia wouldn't exist. When you were transferred, the agency had taken care of everything. They'd hire a truck to move you across the country. Your father had passed away not long before, and you'd made the decision to sell the house. Nearly everything there had belonged to him. Don't worry, it won't be long now. Boxes and boxes from the past would never return. Cupra had been there, and he had helped you unload them. You know what? I'm not worried about you talking. Trucker scans left and right. Because you'll be sipping through a straw for at least a year. Oh, he got mad. I'm mad at him. Cupra used to say this, that silence is more important than words. That the person who listens is more significant than the one who talks. And that words mean nothing without someone to hear them. Jesus multiplied the loaves and turned water into wine. Water into wine. Can you imagine? Why settle for a wine that's watery? There is laughter and some applause. I promised you a better miracle, didn't I? And I multiplied very good wines by stealing it from a truck. But I'm no Jesus, no. I hold those who stand by me in high regard. Tony mentions for you to step on the stage. Boulder was one of the folks who helped me to get the wine for today. You look around. Where's Vincent? Come here, Boulder. And hand out the bottles to the crowd. The atmosphere is booming. And you smile, thinking of Ava. Ava had said you didn't go out together enough, so she'd arranged a wine tasting at a new restaurant nearby. The idea didn't exactly tickle your fancy, but Olivia would be staying over at Ava's mom's, and you could drink as much wine as you wanted. Although that night had started with a lot of nonsense. Nozzle nestled in broad glasses, swirling motions to scrutinize a liquid's body, and elaborate descriptions for simple concepts like red or robust. The mess at the end had not been much different than tonight with the Bahnsen Knights. Listen up. This won't be the only miracle today. You catch some of Tony's talk. You're tired of his stories. If thumbing a ride symbolizes a modern-day Lazarus from the Bible... Thumbing a ride? Okay. You'd rather be back home. Who embodies Jesus in this scenario? Hugging Ava. Playing with Olivia. The car or its driver? Is that the driver? What the fuck is Tony blabbering about? And who's the poor bastard the Falcon twins are hauling on stage? The man can barely stand. Could the twins have done that to him? The Falcon twins, an odd pair of Bahnsen Knights. Two bodybuilders who lost everything to the tornadoes. And for whom Tony set up a gym in one of the barns. Tony glances to the side. Gestures towards the siblings. Allow me to introduce you to someone. Could this be our modern-day Lazarus? It starts as a murmur. Lazarus. More people join in. Lazarus! And it ends with a roar. Lazarus! Tony walks up to the man, and even though he lowers his voice, you can still hear it from where you're standing. That's the problem with writers, Lou. Lou? Who's Lou? They just don't listen to the people. You really think there's nothing to tell here, you son of a bitch? Lou chuckles, the laughter fading into a dry cough. You step over to Lou and offer your shoulder for him to lean on. What are you doing, Boulder? You raise your eyebrows and Tony appears to hesitate for a moment. But eventually he nods. Monique,
I need everything ready for tomorrow's Stations of the Cross. Vincent? Take Lou to the barn. With a glance in your direction, Vincent looks surprised and starts to complain. Right now! You manage to get Lou into the back seat. It would have been easier with Vincent's help. But Vincent's a bastard. But when you asked him, he just bared his teeth at you. And sat behind the wheel of his Sierra. Lou seemed to have fallen asleep. Could this guy be the key to finally putting an end to it all? You feel the car slowing down. And you instinctively clench your fist. Don't get your hopes up, Boulder. Neither one of you is important enough to be executed in the middle of nowhere. It's the wine. I can't take it anymore. Oh, he's pissing. You don't have much time. You shake Lou until he wakes up. Listen to me. I'm not one of them. He's having a hard time concentrating, and you squeeze his shoulder. Hold on a little longer. It'll be over soon. You're not sure if you're telling him, or if you're trying to convince yourself. You start talking, and Vincent gets in the car. What are you doing, you motherfucker? Before you open your mouth, Vincent turns around and points the shotgun at you. Die in the back of a car. Oopsie doopsie. The shot goes through your abdomen, shattering the back of the Sierra. Lou covers his face and starts crying, covered in blood that doesn't belong to him. Oops. Who are you? You start talking a bit. Oh. I'm not supposed to say anything there. Okay, I got you. You fall silent and hear Vince's footstep outside the car. Did you miss me? Hey, wipe that expression off your face, Boulder. We leave Lou in the barn and meet the others at Danny's. You smirk. But deep down you know that time is running out. One way or another, all of this has come to an end. Chapter 7. Back to Danny's. You enter the bar with a knot in your stomach. You feel that Tony is entering a spiral of madness that is dragging all the Bahnsen Knights down. You are not a Bahnsen Knight. You take a deep breath and cling to images of your other life. Something tells you that you don't have much time left, and maybe this is your last night to look for new evidence in the bar. Is it now? Okay. Left of the bar. Emergency exit. Take a deep breath. How much longer are you going to resist? What am I resisting? Let's try darts one more time. I'm just hitting the buttons over and over, seeing if fate will allow this to. Man, I'm going really fast. I'm sure this is important to getting like a better ending or something. But it's so random. Oh my god, that was so close. Oh my god, that was also close. Oh my god, that wasn't. Can I, like,
hit the button on the keyboard? I'm hitting the keyboard. Ah, shit. Sit with these guys again. Oh, one of them's gone. That's not what I wanted to do. I know how to play it. Turn over Doom. There we go. Oh, I've already got 13. Hang on. Back. Turn over Doom. Win. Turn over Doom. Win. Turn over Doom. Look for a miracle. I need 3. I don't have 3. You need to tie the Doom to obtain a miracle. There is no miracle. I lose. Play again. Play. Add cards. Let's do that. Let's turn over Doom. Perfect. Add cards. I think I'm understanding this a bit better now. Add the 10. Turn over the Doom card. There we go. Ace of 1. Add cards from Doom. We'll add that. Makes it a turn over Doom. Turn over Doom. Turn over Doom. Turn over. Oh shit. 9, 10, 11. There's no miracle. Score is 13. Let's play again. Yes. Don't mind it. Actually, I kind of understand this now. Add cards from the cross. Let's do a 7. Turn over. Oh shit. There's no miracle. You lose. Play again. Yes, I'm sure. Oh, there's some bad salvation cards. Turn over Doom. Win. Turn over Doom. Add cards. 10. Oh, shit. There's no miracle. Play again. Win. 6, Queen, Queen, 10, Jet. Those are all good. Turn over Doom. 5, add cards from cross. Let's add the... Sure. That's 12? That gives you 12? Oh, God. No problem. Add cards from Doom. Add card. Turn over Doom. Hell yeah. 9? Hell yeah. Let's go. Turn over Doom. Let's go. 11. Turn over Doom. Let's go. That's good. Add cards. Add the 6 or the 10. Let's add the 6. That's a pretty good card. Turn over Doom. Hell yeah, let's go add cards from cross. That's good. Turn over Doom. Hell yeah, brother. Add cards from the cross. Add card to salvation. Turn over doom. I've turn over doom. I'm winning. Turn over doom. There's no miracle. I lost. Score is 33. That's a high-ass score. Vincent got nothing to say. Monique, ask about adjectives. Why are you asking me? Say that Tony mentioned it. Tony believes in the power of the verb. And that's why his whole speech is religious. Religions speak of the verb. Any kind of verb. You know, jump, crouch, shit. Because they believe the true mystery of being resides in change, in transmutation. Things do not simply be. Things are transformed. This allows them to divide existence into states. Up and down. Life and death. Heaven and hell. Let's rock. The verb is change, and to control the verb is to arrogate oneself to the possibility of that change. Those who control the verb control the state of things. The adjective is something else. This table, is it round or square? Does it really matter? Isn't it a table after all? A place to rest our glasses and get together to talk? Many believe that adjectives are superfluous. But you know what, Boulder? Humanity is also superfluous. And I like being human. Humanity adjectivizes existence. Monique takes a sip of beer. There's a good quote for you, you son of a bitch. The outburst startles you. Something tells you Monique is talking to someone else. Probably Tony. Alright, cool, I guess. Talking to Luca? The old guy's not here. Alright, okay. Got a pretty good score. I think that's pretty good, at least. Go back. Go to the bar. Order a beer. You drink a beer. It's the first one of the night. Although your handler's strategy is smart, you know you can't drink too much. I'm aware. Listen to Kevin's stories. You can hear them in any order you'd like. Although there's something about the chronological order that seems to make everything easier to understand. The stories I wrote about this guy are called The Ascent, the ones above, The Fall. He completely trusts me? Listen to The Ascent. Oh shit. He joined the FBI when he was pretty young. But his real rise happened a few years ago. About the same time the world got wise to the concept of serial killers. Between 1973 and 1977, there were 5 murders perpetrated by traveling salesmen in the American Midwest. The police in each town managed to apprehend the killers after investigations that were quite similar to each other. The evidence seemed clear. Neighbors locating the salesmen at the scene of each crime. Murders committed with the objects that each salesman was selling. In all cases, the salesmen claimed their innocence. But who in their right mind wouldn't try to save themselves from a life sentence? And there's another murder by another salesman. Our agent decides to take another look at the past cases and starts spotting some coincidences. And he finds a witness testimony that the police seems to have dismissed. A family car had been driving around the block of one of the victims. An idea began to form in our man's head. Why would anyone assume that a salesman would kill one of his potential customers? And not only that, why would anyone assume that several salesmen, 6 of, if we take into account the last murder, would kill their potential customers? Wasn't it more logical to assume the existence of another individual? That's how our agent found the serial killer he dubbed the Red Herring Killer. Unbelievably, the Red Herring Killer actually did turn out to be a salesman. A salesman who was looking for other peddlers who shared some part of his route.
who he followed to choose his victims and commit the murders under the cover of evidence that convinced the police. The FBI was able to convict the red herring killer of all 6 crimes, and our agent was celebrated in national and international media. But do you want to know why he was promoted so quickly? It wasn't because of the investigation itself. It was because of the name. Red Herring Killer. The name was very good. Listen to those above. By this time, our agent had already made a name for herself in the Bureau. Those were the years when serial killer investigations dominated the newspapers and television. Years in which the Bureau organized talks and conferences dedicated to finding a general definition of serial killer, setting them apart from terms like mass murderer or multiple murderer. Our agent took part in these events. Even wrote articles for the Bureau's publications. Time between murders, 3 or more murders. All these characteristics were defined in this period. Sorry, I hit the table. But time passed, and the media stopped consulting our agent. He was carrying out several important investigations, but wasn't landing any arrests. A body appeared in 1980 with enough to suggest it might be linked to the murder from '78. The Bureau had developed a query system to facilitate cross-referencing of information. But 2 victims weren't enough to make a serial killer. Our agent possesses unique insights, and he knows from the way the press, the movies, and TV treat them, serial killers had started to be seen as celebrities. This simple fact, combined with the egomania typical of killers, would change everything. Our agent had an idea. He spoke to one of his contacts in the press and told him about the 2 victims. Adding a third was unrelated to the other 2, but with whom he called out a simple coincidence. And he asked the journalist to refer to the murderer as the Silver Ring Killer in his article. The day after the story was published, a man phoned the Bureau calling himself the Harpstring Killer, and he said that he had nothing to do with the 3rd murder. But he did take credit for the first 2, and he'd used a harp string to garrote them. Our agent explained to him that a series requires a 3rd element, and without that element it wasn't a series, and therefore had no right to be given a name. The murderer insulted him and hung up, calling him a fat bastard. Unfortunately, there hadn't been time to trace the call. 2 days later, a new victim appeared, and the Bureau quickly apprehended the killer. He had been careless this time. Our agent was back in the papers and on TV. But he couldn't stop thinking about the 3rd victim. Had it been his fault? Probably. Listen to the fall. This is our agent's last case. The one that broke him. The one that led him to nothing but coffee for breakfast. In a shitty bar like mine. Our agent had known success. He'd been in the papers, on TV. His name was recognized in the field, and he was respected by his peers. But not all agents were as lucky. Serial killers were grabbing the attention of the American people. And there were some agents who couldn't stand it. The ice block killer had been apprehended by an agent we'll call Bob. Bob had managed to solve a case that at first appeared to be 7 suicides by hanging. By apprehending a suspect he dubbed the ice block killer. According to Bob, the ice block killer knocked out his victims with a sleeping pill, and he'd staged a fake suicide using an ice block. He put the block on the floor and hang his victims from the ceiling beam, making sure they stood on the ice. Then he'd leave the scene, making sure he had an alibi that would place him far away from the crime. The victim would be hanged to death when he couldn't stand on the ice anymore, which would melt into a puddle. Our agent had some doubts about Bob's investigation, and at a retirement party, he took advantage of Bob being drunk and asked him about the case. Laughing, Bob told him that he of all people should know the real answer. Bob had created the serial killer by falsely accusing one man of 7 murders that were nothing more than isolated suicides. He forged evidence, fabricated testimonies, and pulled some favors from friends in the press. Our agent couldn't take it. He reviewed the investigation and sent a detailed analysis of to a journalist he trusted. He knew that if they kept everything inside the bureau, Bob wouldn't receive the punishment he deserved. But again, he miscalculated. Minutes after the report went out on TV, Bob was found hanging in his home. Our agent was blamed for Bob's suicide, and at times he seemed to bear it. But one day he came across a book of kids' riddles in a used bookstore, and he would see how the case Bob had built, the hanging and the ice block, had been nothing but a brutal, low-grade intellectual exercise. Our agent would buy that book of riddles and carry it everywhere. He would give up the bureau, and he'd have just coffee for breakfast in a bar like this one, drinking in silence and serving his own sentence. Cool? Kevin looks at you and smiles. Attention, everyone. He rings the bell and announces the next round is on the house. The goons approach the bar. Now's your chance. You don't have much time. Close. You check the pockets of pants. Find nothing. The desk. Open. Next compartment. Next compartment. Open. Hit the fucking button. Hope I didn't... A picture of an influential politician standing next to a woman who is not his wife. Put it in your pocket. Next compartment. Open. Next compartment. Open. Next compartment. Open. Oh god, I'm on the clock. I'm on the clock. I'm on the clock. Open. Next compartment. Open. Next compartment. Open. Nothing. Open. Kevin's tax return from Danny's bar is might come in handy. Next compartment. Hurry, 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 hurry. Property deed and Tony's signature. You can't believe your luck. Open. Close. Exit. Holder. You look at the desk and realize you should have closed all the compartments. Son of a bitch. Ah, shit. Several Bahnsen Knights enter Tony's office. Is around you. You try to defend yourself, but it feels something piercing your stomach and fall to the ground. The last thing you hear before you lose consciousness is Lucas chuckle. Retry. Don't have much time. I gotta look at the sofa. Nothing. Closet. Okay, so do I still have all the stuff? That's the question I want to know. Tax return. Ah, shit. Son of a bitch! I'm going to use the keyboard because I feel like it's being more responsive. Is it randomized? Discover 5 pieces of new evidence. Oh shit, okay. Exit. You pretend to be drunk. Restroom? You're not sure she bites it. You leave the
office and Monique comes out behind you. You see her walk up to the table where the others are and try to calm down. I was drunk, guys. That's okay, I was drunk. I wasn't doing anything at all. Hungry ghosts. Listen to hungry ghosts. They're back at their posts. You lost your only chance. But I didn't. I got stuff. I'm assuming that's all I have to do. I'm good. Wait, let's go back to the emergency exit. You take a deep breath. Wonder how much longer you're going to resist. Resist what? Music changes. You're tired. You're sick of being someone you're not. You need to get out of here. You barely even care that you haven't found any new evidence for your hand. What? I did find evidence. The fuck? Episode 8. Although your days started a little later with Ava and Olivia, you always liked sunrises. When you were a kid, you shared a room with your 2 brothers. They were older than you, and both of them liked to sleep in. Since they wouldn't let you open the curtains too early, you had developed a system. You would lift the curtain a little and prop it up using Gumby, a toy that your uncle had given to all 3 of you, but your oldest brother had taken. Gumby could bend, so it was ideal for adjusting the angle at which the sunlight came through the window, and illuminating a small area of the floor in your room. Lying in that pool of light without making any noise, you would read or do your schoolwork. You still remember that feeling? The warmth on your arms and face? The pages of the books reflecting golden light? Everything seemed easier in that spot. One day, Gumby fell. Oh God. As it fell, it hit another toy, setting off a chain reaction that woke up your brothers. Turns out, your arms don't bend like Gumby's. Fucking Gumby. Fucking brothers. You think of Lou. Tony had mentioned stations of the cross, Via Crucis, and you know that things are happening too fast, and that you don't have much time left. You scan your surroundings. The Bahnsen Knights are asleep in their cars, and today you couldn't give a shit whether Gumby falls or not. You could attempt to pop open the trunks to see if any of the Bahnsen Knights are hiding something that might implicate Tony. You could revisit the cemetery and try once more, even though you're well aware it's unlikely to yield results. Or you could simply return to bed. Your brothers were fond of sleeping. Things didn't turn out bad for them. Perhaps you should have taken a leaf out of their book. And then the fictional boulder would have never existed. Okay, so we got a choice to make. I guess I probably don't have enough evidence. Monique tells him what's happened while you try to stammer out of excuses. I got killed. Maybe I won't do that, because I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. Go to the X. You enter the barn where you saw Tony wiping his blood-covered knuckles. A light from outside does not illuminate the inside of the building. You take a few steps and hear movement behind you. Too late. Blow causes a skull fracture and you die from the damage to the brain tissue. Well, shit. Go to the graveyard? You walk to the graves, engrossed in your own thoughts. Is this ever going to end? Our Lady of Health. What does that do? To whom passioners pray for physical and mental health. The agency uses this holy card to catalog the medical matters of suspects. Catalog medical matters of suspects. Why would they have added it now? Would they have gotten permission from Justice to obtain medical records of some Bahnsen Knights and cross-reference data? Say the patron of just and urgent causes. The agency incorporated San Expedito, and it means that they suspect a connection with justice or politics. Okay. Would Tony and the Bahnsen Knights have partners in power? Suggests connection with power or politics. Okay, previous. Previous. Back. Examine available evidence. Tax declaration. Kevin's tax returned from Danny's bar. Some of the numbers caught your eye. Is Tony using this as a front for his own business? So I just have that one, that's all. Select holy card. Accounting documentation, yeah. I guess you don't get your hopes up. Nothing makes you think this will be of any different than the others. What is it that your handler even wants? You think that maybe you haven't looked in the right places. Maybe you could have chosen to say other things, or pursued alternative paths. What about Cupra? Could he have uncovered something? And more important, could he have stashed it away before it being discovered? Given what you knew about your friend, you have no doubt. But you don't know where to look anymore. Cupra. How you missed that son of a bitch. Is this over, dude? Is that it? No, episode 9. This must be the end. Didn't you learn anything in school? Ava laughed, stretching out her left hand and looking at her engagement ring. A synecdoche is a figure of speech. It's when you use a part of something to refer to the whole. Or did you really think you were just going to take my hand in marriage? When you told Cupra you were marrying Ava, you told him what she said about synecdoche. It says, whatever, I don't know how you say that. Cupra waited for you to finish and smiled. He said that you'd been very, very lucky. That not only had you found someone you loved, but that you'd also learned a thing or two. A few weeks later, Cupra would have dinner at your house and meet Ava. They'd talk about work, about books, about you. What the fuck is going on? One of them would mention the word synecdoche, and they would start to laugh. They'd look for examples, ignoring your complaints. Laughing at your annoyance. And they'd clink glasses every time they'd come up with a new one. Oh, God. That's the dude. Synecdoche. It's been a long time since you thought of it. In Lou's Station of the Crosses, he doesn't carry any cross. Condemned and cross are the same thing. And you're not sure if this is an example of a synecdoche or not. Time is running out. You need to act. You touch your chest and feel the microphone you carry between your fourth and fifth rib. You'll need some kind of evidence of whatever the hell is going on to explain your actions to the agency. The cars are moving slowly, maintaining a constant speed. I feel like I'm going to fail this. You ponder what might happen if one of those cars in front were to speed up, or if one of the cars in the back suddenly slammed on the brakes. Lou would be dismembered. Yeah, indeed. You know that dismemberment as a form of execution has a long history. That a common way was to tie the condemned man's limbs to 4 horses. And you've never heard of anyone doing it with cars, but cars have horsepower at least. You look at your hand, clenching it into a fist to stop the trembling. You don't know how much more you can take. What was his name? You struggle to recall the name of the Peruvian leader the Spaniards tried to dismember but couldn't. I don't fucking know. Peru. That? No. No. Tupac Amaru? The leader of the Great Rebellion. You think about your mother's family, how little you know of their history. Keeping your brain busy in times of distress is the only way to keep you from going crazy, Boulder. Copper had told you about a soldier in World War I who recited the first 200 prime numbers from memory, as bombs fell in the trenches and fragments of his comrades flew through the air. You miss Copper. And you miss your life beyond fiction. You take a deep breath and hold your head. Oh, there's a menu here. Save. Okay. Oh, okay. This is exorcism at high speeds, miracles on the road, and now this. Does Tony really believe any of what he preaches? Holy shit. You no longer have any doubt that Tony is preparing something big tonight. Monique checks every single car that arrives at the barn. You can't blow your cover now. You reach under your clothes and yank out your microphone, and roll down the window and wait for the right moment to get rid of it. Monique finishes with the car in front of you and approaches your car. She finds the microphone and calls the others. Oh, I'm dead. Die in the depth of a lake. Oopsie doopsie. 7 hours later, you touch the bottom of the same lake where almost a year ago you swam with Ava in your underwear. The Bahnsen Knight standing to the left of the car sees you throw something out the window and calls the others. Oh, shit. Oh, I can't have either one looking at me? Okay, that sucks. You discard the bug without anyone noticing. Monique, avoid being discovered with the bug! Another achievement. Monique scans your car and finds nothing. She motions for you to park the car, and you breathe a sigh of relief. I'm about to crucify some poor person, dude. Damn. You walk among the people without quite believing what you're seeing. Until now, everything Tony and the Bahnsen Knights had done seemed to you like some sort of fairground trick. A work of grandstanding showmanship, albeit heavily laced with religious overtones. But this? Oh my god. He's gonna stab a guy. How far would Tony actually go? Do you know Longinus? According to the Gospel of John, the Roman soldiers who crucified Jesus, they didn't break his legs, as was customary to hasten the death of the crucified. Do you know why?
because they thought Jesus was already dead. But one of the Romans, identified in some texts as the centurion by the name Longinus, he pierced him in the side with a spear to confirm that Jesus was dead. You look around you. Tony has his audience captivated. Do you understand the importance of what Longinus did? He caused a wound that by itself would kill Jesus. To find out if Jesus was already dead, he corroborated a fact by provoking the same fact, eliminating all contingencies, and confirming the idea that one way or another, our destiny is already written. Did you hear that, Lou? I don't need you. I don't need you. Lou's scream is lost amongst the cheering of the crowd. You can't take it anymore. You have to do something. Charge at the cross? Get the son of a bitch! Oh God. Die trying to be a hero. Try it again. You run away with Lou on your shoulder. Kick some butts! The adrenaline keeps you on your feet. A helicopter? A blow to the back of your head prevents you from fully formulating the thought. Monique! Help me with these two! So, did I get the ending where I die but save Lou? It's not over. Lord. The first thing you hear is the rushing of the air. The back of your head hurts, and you try to sit up. Easy, you son of a bitch. Like a slap in the face, Tony's voice jolts you back to the present. You're in a helicopter. How much longer, Monique? Monique doesn't reply. The noise inside the helicopters is deafening. Oh, God. Monique! How much longer? 10 minutes to the nearest F5. Did you hear that, Boulder? In 10 minutes, you're going down in hell. You fucked us, you piece of shit. Ow! I always suspected it. You showed up not long after the other traitor. Cupra. Your attempts to mask your reaction to hearing that name were worthless. Tony knows. We're getting close. Hold on tight. Want to know a secret, Boulder? We fed Cupra to a tornado, too. You feel fury gripping every muscle in your body. Tony stares in your eyes with the intensity you've rarely seen. And you want to hurt him. Headbutt. You get ready to headbutt him, but Tony knows. Looking you in the eye the whole time, he pulls his head back and avoids the attack. Get the fuck up. He raises the gun and makes you move towards the door. Without saying anything else, he kicks you in the stomach and you fall to your death. I gotta kick him. Oh, I kick him in the nuts! The kick catches him off guard. You get up as fast as you can. Tony? What's going on back there? The turbulence increases and everything spins. Nothing I can't handle. You keep us flying. Hoo! I punched him. Your stomach churns. The helicopter's losing altitude. Take a look. Trees, soil, water. Jump. You miscalculate. Oops. Take a look. Trees, soil, water. Take a look. Trees, soil, water. Take a look. Trees, soil, water. Soil, water. Oh, that was the water. Okay. I had to wait. Okay. Action here. Big finale. Boulder? Everything flashes by in a second. Ava, Olivia, Cooper, the breakfasts, the beers, the laughs, the cups of coffee, your daughter's drawings, Walter. Lou? It's over. Explosion is spectacular. A piece difficult to describe overwhelms you, and you realize how much your body aches. I need to see my family, Lou. Stop being Boulder, and just be me again. Well, now is it over? That was Bahnsen Knights. Holy shit. So that was the helicopter crashing, right? So Monique and Tony died. So I'm sure that's one of many endings. I'm sure I actually could find enough evidence to convict him and have the police come kick his ass or something. Look at that pixel sky. I love pixelated shit like that. Dot, dot, dot. It's not fucking over. Oh, look at that. We're going back home? I guess so. Look at that little kid. Ava? Olivia? And the guy, which I guess his name isn't really Boulder. Are we gonna get like an evaluation, maybe? Maybe not. God, this is longer ending than I was expecting. Is that Lou? That's Lou. Pixel pulps. Hell yeah, alright. Boulder's extra, Lou's extra? It's just gonna show the ending? Yeah. Oh, I can't skip. Shit. Well, okay, that's cool. We get to see the ending again, I guess. If you wanted to go watch the ending. Oops, sorry guys. We get to watch this ending twice. Well, there we go. That's Bahnsen Knights. Make a Glenn's eye, yep. Assign all evidence correctly. Lead a successful road exorcism. Alright. Die after making Kevin snap. Oh wow. Abandon a road exorcism. Win a Via Crucis Solitaire. Get hammered. Do not follow Vincent's plan. Kick some butts. Oh, I gotta meet him beforehand. So Lou is the guy in the, whatchamacallit, open all the trunks, skim a book, secret evidence stash. Oh my god, there's so much I've missed. Die in the depth of a lake, die in the back of the car. Die trying to be a hero. Extraction. Oh my gosh, there's so much I've missed.
You know, maybe I'll do another run of this at some point this month, just to see if I can, you know, do some of this stuff differently. Like, it'll make a Glenn's eye, assign evidence, all that stuff. That's cool. I can load the game, but I don't need to do that. Yeah, this game's not very long. I knew it wasn't going to be very long, but that was Bahnsen Knights, guys, for PC. I totally love the game's atmosphere. It's amazing. I love the visual art style. It's just the kind of stuff that's so cool looking to me. That's not going to be the end of the game, the end of the stream, though. We're gonna take a short little break, and I'm gonna come back with another game for Spooky Month. Whew. Oh God, I gotta stretch. I did not make a break screen for Spooky Month. I just remembered. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up the recording here for YouTube. If you guys enjoyed that, give the video a like. I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Go stay safe out there. Go play some games, and y'all have a good night.